Today, in the overwhelming majority of our homes and public spaces, corporate businesses, and private businesses where we work, we have a system called a water and sewer system. The water system primarily brings fresh water into the home or the office or the building. And the sewer system mainly takes out the water that is used, the dirty water, and the human waste that we produce on a daily basis from eating and drinking. There seems to be some sort of disconnect when it comes to using the sewer system properly, especially as I'm noticing and dealing with the Europeans in public settings. I don't know what their homes look like. The majority of European homes that I've been to when I was younger and even today, I don't find filth in their toilet bowls at home, but I notice in public spaces I find a lot of their filth left behind, especially in like corporate buildings and things like that. And I'm wondering to myself from a very long time ago what this was about. I came up with a theory. That's what I do. And it's tied to the anal personality that Sigmund Freud speaks about. I was having a discussion with a law professor one time, and she described to me the selfish personality exhibited, particularly in European children. That it's a very selfish personality where the word mine is used quite often to gather all the belongings in the room. Very little sharing goes on, and they would then proceed to break a lot of the things that they take or what have you, and pile them up in the middle of a room, all their possessions, and then excrete on them, whether it would be peeing or defecating on the things in the middle of the room. And it's at that point that they would want to call other people in to see what they have done. And this can also relate back to those games that we heard about growing up as children, where we learned from these Europeans that they would put their excrements into a bag, set it on fire, and put it on someone's doorstep, ring the doorbell. The victim would then run out, seeing a brown paper bag on fire, and then step into that human waste. This is quite disturbing behavior. As I said, the anal personality deals with that disconnect that Freud says the Caucasians had to deal with when their parents, particularly their mother, rejected them during the time of potty training, when it was time for them to learn how to defecate on their own. I also think there's another aspect of the problem, and I think part of the problem is the idea that most of the people that clean up behind the dominant society, as they would call themselves, are considered minorities. You have your, particularly where I live, a lot of Latin. Historically in this country, it's usually been a lot of Africans when we're dealing with the times of our Ma'afa particularly. There was always someone left to clean up behind them, literally clean their behinds. And I still think a lot of that behavior is left over, where they have this idea in their head that their waste, as easy as it is to flush, I mean, you click a button, you press a handle, and no one has to see your waste. But time and time again, when I use public spaces, I run into waste. And I can't figure out what this was about until, you know, it really comes back to that idea of disrespect. Disrespect for the people that you think are supposed to be cleaning up behind you. So, you know, just another thought.